Hello, everybody, and welcome to History Through Film. So, my name is Miss Corey. My full name is Corey Static, but I just go by Miss Corey. This is my third year teaching overall. This is my second year at ISD 728, and also my second year teaching online History Through Film. I also teach 11th grade World History online, 7th grade Advisory online, and of course, this class. So I am one of the online social studies teachers. So here's me. Here's my dog, by the way. Her name is Stella. She's adorable, and I love her very much. And you will probably hear her bark throughout some of my videos. Isn't that nice? All right. So a little bit more about me. My Bachelor of Arts is in Ancient History, so anything ancient is my jam. I also have a Master's of Education in Secondary Social Studies and a minor in Spanish Studies. So I have a lot of expertise. I attended the U of M Twin Cities, so if you're ever thinking of going there, you can ask me about it. I really love movies, especially when I was in high school. I kind of dropped my movie obsession in college because I was so busy. But I did take two history through film classes at the U of M, one being Japan after World War II, which was my absolute favorite class ever, and American Indian Studies through film. So we're going to jump right in and talk about the movies that we will watch. So we break this down into units. Oh, ignore those dates up there. Those are the dates for last semester. So Unit 1, Eastern Civilization. So the first movie we're going to watch, which we're going to start next week, is The Last Samurai. That came out in 2003. And it says Captain Nathan Algren, aka Tom Cruise, is an American military officer hired by the Emperor of Japan to train the country's first army in the art of modern warfare. As the government attempts to eradicate the ancient samurai warrior class in preparation for more westernized and trade friendly policies, Algren finds himself unexpectedly affected by his encounters with the samurai, which places him at the center of a struggle between two eras and two worlds. So that's going to be our first movie. We're kicking this off with a big Hollywood film. The next one we're going to watch is Argo. Now, this is a slightly newer movie. This was back in 2012. It is based on the Iranian hostage crisis. So, on November 4th, 1979, militants stormed the U.S. Embassy in Tehran, Iran, taking 66 American hostages. Amid the chaos, 6 Americans managed to slip away and find refuge with the Canadian ambassador. Knowing that it's just a matter of time before the refugees are found and likely executed, the U.S. government calls on executor Tony Mendez, played by Ben Affleck, to rescue them. Mendez's plan is to pose as a Hollywood producer scouting locations in Iran and train the refugees to act as his film crew. So that one's super suspenseful. I think a lot of students last semester were like, oh, this is going to be boring, but they loved it because it's very suspenseful. All right, then after that, we're going to go on to Unit 2, which is Western Civilization. And just to give a little snapshot of what we'll be watching is Gladiator. Now, this is my absolute most favorite movie to watch. Love Gladiator. It's from 2000, and it is all about ancient Rome, which you probably expect that's my jam. So Commodus, which is played by Joaquin Phoenix, takes power and strips rank from Maximus, who is played by Russell Crowe, one of the favored generals of his predecessor and father, Emperor Marcus Aurelius, and great Stoic philosopher. Maximus is then relegated to fighting to the death in the gladiator arenas. It's awesome. It's such a bloody, adrenaline junkie movie. It's fabulous. I hope you all love it too. Then after that, we're going to kind of slow down a little bit and get back into that kind of suspense movie with The Imitation Game, which is a World War II movie. Now, that was made in 2014, and it is about, so in 1939, newly created British intelligence agency M16 recruits Cambridge mathematics alumnus Alan Turing, played by Benedict Cumberbatch, to crack Nazi codes, including Enigma, which cryptanalysts had thought unbreakable. Turing's team, including Joan Clark, played by Keira Knightley, analyze Enigma messages while he builds a machine to decipher them. Turing and team finally succeed and become heroes, but in 1952, the quiet genius encounters disgrace when authorities reveal he is gay and send him to prison. So a lot going on in that movie. But don't worry, we'll talk about the backgrounds to all of them before we watch them. Then we're getting to Unit 3. Again, ignore the dates on top. I kind of forgot to delete those from last year. So, warfare. The first thing we're going to watch is called The Art of War. Um, it is a documentary from the History Channel. So, when you're like documentary, you're like, oh, snooze fest. No, this one's really great, especially because it's from the History Channel. I mean, anything the History Channel makes, they make it pretty entertaining. So this is from 2009, and it's just a documentary on the main principles of this dude. His name is Sun Tzu. He wrote this book called The Art of War, and it's illustrated with examples from the Vietnam War, um, which is like demoralization strategies, the Second World War, like the invasion of Normandy, and the American Civil War, like Gettysburg and Sue's own battle. So it looks back at this ancient text and it relates it to modern day battles. So after that, we're gonna jump into Red Cliff. So this is a Chinese movie. I did give the version that is in English, so it's dubbed over um, instead of subbed. And it's also the very shortened version of it. It's only 2.5 hours compared to the 4.5 hours that the original full length is. So this came out in 2008. Surprisingly, it was a really good film in my opinion. Although the dubbing is kind of like funny just because like their lips don't match the words. So in ancient China, the emperor of the Han Dynasty allows General Cao Cao to declare war against the rebellious southern provinces. With the intention of unifying the entire country, Cao's large army quickly advances, killing civilians and soldiers alike. To resist Cao, the southern warlords form an alliance led by Viceroy Zhao Yu. And outnumbered, Zhao relies upon elaborate formations and unorthodox strategies to fight against Cao's overwhelming forces. So, this one's kind of like the interesting movie out of all of them. Then after that, we're gonna go into some straight up Hollywood with Braveheart. So this is in 1995. Um, the adults in your life might remember this coming out into the theaters because it was a huge hit. So it tells the story of the legendary 13th century Scottish hero named William Wallace, who was played by Mel Gibson. Wallace rallies the Scottish against the English monarch and Edward I after he suffers a personal tragedy by English soldiers. Wallace gathers a group of amateur warriors that is stronger than any English army. So again, adrenaline junkie kind of movie. Then in that unit, you're going to have your own choice of what movie you want to watch. So next week, I'm going to open up a Google form for you to vote on what modern warfare movie you want to watch as a class. So I get to pick out all these other really cool movies from this list that I'm giving, but this is your chance to choose what movie you want to see. So you have 4 different options for this. And whatever movie gets the most votes wins. So your choice, and again, I'll open this up next week and I'll make sure to send out an email so it's super obvious. So your choice is Black Hawk Down, which is set in 93, where U.S. soldiers trying to get supplies to Somalis during the Somali Civil War. 2, Saving Private Ryan, which is a World War II movie where U.S. soldiers try to find Soldier Ryan behind enemy lines. Hotel Rwanda, which is set in 94, where a Hutu Rwandan man tries to keep Tutsi refugees safe from genocide. And then number 4, which is the movie that last year's group picked, which was American Sniper, which was set in Iraq War. Elite Navy SEAL becomes a successful sniper, but deals with family issues and PTSD at home. So, again, I'll send an email when that's all up. And then the last movie that we're going to do to wrap up the warfare unit is In This Corner of the World. This really gives a perspective on the different side of war. So instead of focusing on the soldiers and the people doing the battles, this focuses on the home front. And I think that's just as important. So this is the description for it is: as she combats her daily struggles in Hiroshima during World War II, an 18-year-old woman gets married and has to maintain the will to live. It looks like a cute movie, but it gets really dark really fast. All right, so the last unit, again, ignore these dates up here, is Unit 4, Women in History, but specifically we're going to be looking at US history. This is the last unit, so this is the quickest unit. The one movie we will watch is called Hidden Figures. That came out in 2016, and it's about three brilliant African American women at NASA: Katherine Johnson, Dorothy Vaughan, and Mary Jackson. And they serve as the brains behind one of the greatest operations in history, the launch of the astronaut John Glenn into orbit, a stunning achievement that restored the nation's confidence, turning around the space race, and galvanized world. Okay, so this one's great. It's really empowering. After you're done watching it, you feel like you can conquer the world. Um, and if we have time after that, the only other movie we'd watch would be The Help, but I seriously doubt we're going to have time to watch that. But I'll keep you all in the loop with emails of how far we're getting in our class. So next up, I'm going to talk about how this class works, aka the syllabus. Now, this course, if you need to contact me at all, do it through email or come to my office hours. I don't have a phone set up. I think I'm getting one, but I really don't know. And office hours are from Monday 12 to 1. You don't need an appointment for those. Just hop on in. I'll be happy to answer questions. This course was designed to show history through the use of documentaries and Hollywood films. We'll examine several historical themes through use of many films, as well as explore the accuracies and inaccuracies of full-length Hollywood historical epics. So again, the units that we are covering are Unit 1, Eastern Civilization, Unit 2, Western Civilization, Unit 3, Warfare, Unit 4, Women in U.S. History. If we have time, which I 99.9% think we don't, Unit 5 would be the abuse of power. But again, I don't think we're getting that far. So this class, it is completely online. There is never an in-person meeting. And each student has this class blocked out on their schedule every day for approximately 52 minutes. So I highly recommend that you do this classwork during that period of time so you do not fall behind, because that is the biggest reason people fail this class, is they fall behind fast. So I will be assigning classwork every day. So it takes students 52 minutes or less to complete one of my assignments. So again, that's the length of an average class period. So classwork is really going to include watching Edpuzzle videos, specifically for background information. And then, of course, the movies themselves are also going to be an Edpuzzle, which is the program you're watching right now. And I chunked up the movies into 30-minute intervals. So also, you're going to be filling out study guides while watching these videos. I'll post the study guide before every unit. You'll see it. I don't have one posted right now because all you have access to right now is the orientation videos or the orientation folder. But I will email you next week when we start with the study guide, and then we start with The Last Samurai. All right, so Edpuzzle is going to be the main tool in this class. You're going to get sick of it. Hopefully not, but you might. So the reason why I use it is so I can monitor who is and isn't watching the movies. And each Edpuzzle is worth 5 points. Each study guide that goes along with the units vary in points, depending on the questions, but they're typically about 20 points. And each other formative assignment varies between 5 and 20 points. So I keep that pretty consistent. And then summative assignments will vary too, but they're going to be over 20 points. So if we have 4 units, there'll be 4 summatives. So when watching Edpuzzles, you're going to make sure that you are signed in with your ISD 728 account. Make sure that your ad blocker is turned off. Seriously, make sure. It's up in the little corner of your Google Chrome. It's like a little hand with a stop sign. Make sure when you're on an Edpuzzle that is turned off. If you have questions about that, please let me know, because you need to turn that off or else Edpuzzle will not work for you. Questions will pop up on the side of the Edpuzzle video and pause the video for you to answer. As you can see up here, like if someone was watching a video, there's going to be like a little box that pops up on the right. That's where you answer the questions. If this does not occur, you need to turn off your ad blocker. And for you to get any points, you must watch the Edpuzzle to the very end. You cannot stop at the last question or even the last minute. You need to watch it to the very, 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 very end for you to get any points for the Ed puzzle. Typically, you have like this little thing that says you're done with a confetti cannon, or some other like little emoji saying like, like great job or whatever. That's how you know that you came to the end of the Ed puzzle. But let me know if you have questions about it. So we're going to test out the Ed puzzle right now. So if the video does not stop in like the next 2 seconds, your Ed puzzle isn't working and you need to turn off your ad blocker. All right, so if the video stopped for you and you had to answer the question, who is your favorite actor or actress? Then you're good to go. Your Ed puzzle is working for you. And again, if you need to turn off your ad blocker, this is where it's located up on your Google tab. All right, so when it comes to Ed puzzle, questions that I asked you directly on the Ed puzzle, so those are questions you do not need to write in your study guide, will be in blue text. But questions that I want you to answer in your study guide, like when we're doing kind of like an introduction video typically, those are going to be in a magenta text. Another thing too about Ed puzzle, you might be doing an Ed puzzle and you're like, why does it say I have a 0 in Schoology on it? I just got done with it. Like, shouldn't it say 5? Don't panic. The reason why it says 0 is because I personally need to go in and correct all of your answers. I individually correct every single answer. So do not panic if it's a 0. Give me 48 hours to go and correct it. And then you'll see a different score pop up on your Schoology page. If you have any questions about that, like if it's past 48 hours and it still says 0, email me. Okay? Sweet. So another thing is I take attendance once a week on Monday for the week prior. To be marked present in attendance, a student must complete every single one of the assignments for me each week. That's the big change from last year if you did online classes. This year, you need to complete every single assignment that I assign within that week to be marked as present. If you do not complete all assignments per week, you will be marked absent. So even if you did 4 out of the 5 assignments, you're going to be marked absent. So do every single assignment. You are also responsible for your own attendance, meaning I'm not there to bug you. You got to do your work. If you're absent for an entire school week, like vacation, sickness, funeral, something on that line, email me. If I don't have access to the in-person school attendance, so I have no idea if you're absent or not, unless I like contact the school directly. So if you were gone for a whole week, email me like as soon as you can. Okay? So at the end of each unit, there would be a summative assessment in the form of some sort of project. I don't do like tests, like multiple choice tests. They're always like something more creative. And each assignment will be given the name U and then a number dash L and a number. That's what I do too. If you know my world history class, I do the same thing. So U stands for unit, L stands for lesson. So for example, U3L1 would mean unit 3 lesson 1. So that's how I label each of the assignments on my course. Just so you know, it makes it really easy when grading. So office hours for me are every Monday from 12 to 1 on Google Meets. I'll let you know if that changes. There is no appointment required. You can just come in. You can also email me to set up an appointment via Google Meets. And also there's a link on top of the Schoology page that has like sign up for a meet. Click here. If a student is failing my class at any point, I will email you and set up a Google Meets to meet with me because I want to help you get caught up in my class and watch these super awesome movies. So if I catch any student plagiarizing words without proper quotations or citations, that student would get a 0 for the entire assignment, even if it's just one little simple sentence that you totally just copied off of some Google website. You will get a 0 for the entire assignment. So don't plagiarize. Okay? So again, plagiarism is taking someone else's words and making them your own or taking someone else's words without giving them credit. How to avoid plagiarism, rewording, quotations. Just don't plagiarize. That's all I have to say. Same thing with AI. AI is becoming a huge problem. I know there's probably going to be some really awesome ways to use AI, especially, in some classrooms or other life settings. But right now, where the world is really not sure about it, AI is prohibited from my class. I will never, ever, ever have an assignment that it's okay to use AI. And if I do catch you using AI, you get a 0 on your assignment immediately. Okay? All right. So, also, if you give answers to questions that are not, not in the video or information from like some of the assignments that are like where the heck are you getting this information, I'm going to suspect you of like getting it from outside resources or copying or using AI. That will also result in a 0, so make sure that you're not just like getting random information from the internet, because I'm going to know really fast. um, and you're also going to lose my trust really fast. And if plagiarism becomes a huge problem, I'll use Turnitin, which really checks for AI usage. I'll use that for all the assignments if this becomes a really big problem. And please don't go there, because Turnitin's so annoying, but I will use it if there's a lot of AI and plagiarism going on. All right, so another thing, every week I'll be posting a weekly check-in. It's an optional thing to do, but it's really great for me to kind of like check in on how you're doing personally and school-wise, and I respond to everyone who fills it out. So, um, each documentary movie I have you watch is mandatory. There are no exceptions. Your parents slash guardians should have gotten an email from me already about permission slips to watch all of the movies. And if they're like, yeah, I really don't want you watching, I don't know, Braveheart, that's a problem. You need to switch out of my class, okay? You have to be able to watch every single movie I assign, no exceptions. So if you or your parents or adults in your life are not comfortable with that, you need to switch classes. Grading, summative is 70%, formative is 30%, late work. We're going to be watching 30 minutes of movies approximately each day, so you can fall behind fast, and no formative late work will be accepted or graded. Schoology, that's going to be our main thing that we're going to focus on with assignments, is the sole place to find assignments such as study guides, other daily assignments, Edpuzzle links, weekly schedule, and also important dates for projects and assignments. Communications, I will send out emails multiple times a week reminding you of due dates and when things are published. So please check your emails daily. So I am super excited that you were in my class. I know it doesn't seem like that because I've been talking about such negative things, but I really am. I love this class. It's awesome. Watching Gladiator is like my most favorite thing to do in the world. But this class is not an easy A, and I will tell you that right now. If you slack and fall behind, you will fail my class. You need to earn your grade, and as long as you do your work and it's of decent quality, you'll be fine, but it's not an easy A. And I know some of you are probably like, oh, shoot, that online history through film would be. If you can't meet the deadlines weekly, seriously, find a different class, because this has some really tight deadlines. So I encourage you all to relax in a comfy chair when watching our movies. Maybe you want to watch it with families and friends. Just remember, if you have younger siblings, it's PG-13 in our movies. The movie qualities are a little bit lower because I have to upload all the files. And if they were high quality, they'd be like giant files. But I try to make them pretty decent quality movies. Also, just sit back and grab some snacks and watch the movies. Like, it's relaxing. I'm literally assigning you 30 minutes a day to watch a movie. That's awesome for a grade. So again, with study guides, every unit has a study guide, includes all notes that you need to take for the Edpuzzle lessons and movies. Definitions, notes, and answers must be from the sources I provided. In other words, again, no Googling, copying, pasting, AI, no plagiarism. So let's take a look at the Schoology page really fast. I know I talk really, really fast. I talk a little bit slower when I do my normal videos. So here it is right here. Here's my information. If you want to sign up for a meeting, you can click here. Office hours, I'll put the link here. And then here is a slideshow, changes every week. I update it of what you need to do and when it is due. Most of my assignments are due Sunday at midnight. Here's just a little resource for your parents or guardians to see how they can check your grades and stuff. Here's the orientation materials, which you're going to do next up. And then once Unit 1 is published, it'll pop up right below that. Okay. All right, let's go back. Oops, wrong one. All right, we're almost to the end. All right, so permission slips. Again, I have sent your parents and guardians permission slips to view the movies in this class. The email is called permission slips for history through film class. Maybe I put like urgent in there too, just so your parents and guardians respond. Again, all the movies are PG-13 and R for various reasons. If you have questions, check out the IMDb website or email me. If you do not get your permission slip signed, you cannot take my class. And we are going to start not not in February. We're gonna start next week, probably on Tuesday or Wednesday, with The Last Samurai. So make sure you get those permission slips in before we start watching The Last Samurai. Got it? You need those in. Do them. All right, so I'll take a pause right now. What questions do you have about my class so far? If nothing, just write none in the Edpuzzle answer box. All right, wrap up. So we went through syllabus, expectations, we went through all the units of what movies we're going to watch, of course, with the exception of the one you guys are going to pick. So next up, you're going to get your permission slips signed and emailed back to me if you have not already. If you're wondering if your parents/guardians did that, you can email me. I'll let you know. You're going to start orientation folder lesson 1 through 5 and completing the quiz. Next week, we'll get started up with The Last Samurai. And of course, if you have any questions whatsoever, please, please, please email me or come to office hours. Okay? All right? That's all. Thanks for listening. Bye.